orchids grown in Hawaii. The quality of orchids cultivated throughout the islands is known around the world. With the spirit of aloha, farmers and breeders have shared their plant successes, creating a robust commerce for the state. The University of Hawaii's breeding program has developed orchid varieties and growing techniques. Hawaii's orchid farms and nurseries offer a diverse source of perfect cut stems and exotic potted orchids.
My dad, James, had a little backyard nursery in Hilo, hence the name Hilo Orchid Farm. And shortly after, they moved up to Mountain View and started building greenhouses every couple of years.
So right now we have 36 acres at the farm with about 5 acres of environmentally controlled greenhouses.
My dad hybridizes a lot of orchids. I think it's probably his favorite part about growing orchids is just learning the lineage of the plants and what does well. He's really a scientist at heart. So we've got a lot of hybrids that we're known for. We've got patents on a few of them. The one right behind Aubrey here, Sensitive Sweet Sugar Lemon Drop, is one of our patented orchids.
It's pretty interesting to hear him talk about what his goals are for certain kind of hybridizing. It might be to bring out certain characteristics of a flower or to remove certain characteristics of a flower, but also on making it stronger or even the length of the stem, making it shorter or bigger. It's really, the possibilities are endless.
So we started growing Phalaenopsis mainly and some paths. And now we grow a wide variety of things, but we've always been wholesale, both locally in Hawaii and shipping to the US mainland. Hawaii is a good place to grow orchids because of the climate. We're at an advantage to a lot of the mainland growers because we don't have to heat our greenhouses, which is a huge cost savings. We have a lot of rainwater up here in Mountain View. We use catchment tanks and we water our plants, 3 to 4 times a week, and that's hundreds of gallons of water each time. And we have solar panels that power a lot of the activities going on in our greenhouses. We have people potting, weeding, feeding, watering, harvesting. And then there's sales, so talking to customers, taking orders, fulfilling them, processing them, shipping them out. We have a grounds crew and maintenance. It's a big property to maintain, and we're constantly doing maintenance on upkeep on our equipment and machinery and greenhouses. I think there's a certain challenge about orchids that makes them so special and unique. It's a challenge to grow them and flower them, to find certain species of them. It's been a challenge for us to learn how to cultivate and sell them. And I think that's what's really drawing people in. And no matter how much you know, there's always more to know, there's always more to see.
The whites are the main flower. A lot of people love them. I mean,
for weddings, they're popular. I think they like that the Hawaiian orchids are long-lasting.
Yeah.
Especially for florists, and then they're versatile. They can go in all kinds of arrangements
and sizes. Yeah, they do get very long. So, and some people really love them because you're looking at maybe 2 to 3 feet long.
The University of Hawaii developed these different varieties, and so that's basically what we're using for cut flowers, and they're known worldwide.
Yeah. We have orandas and assorted orandas, macaras, dendrobiums, so it's good to have a mix.
We've also branched out and have some greens and blues and some dark eggplant wine-colored orchids will kind of enhance an arrangement. People appreciate that.
At one point we had 5 acres of full production. And,
yeah, maybe harvest over 10,000 sprays a week.
Living out here Opiko. It's a beautiful place, and you know, I love it. I mean, I like the outdoors, you know, working for yourself and just being around my plants.
Basically, you know, we sell maybe about 2/3 to the mainland, and another third we sell locally to other wholesalers, and then we do a little bit of direct sales to gift boxes and stuff. Hefna has helped us a lot with promoting the products that are grown in Hawaii, and it really helps to have a shipping discount, which they help arrange so we can get our product to the mainland. We will harvest and generally ship the next day. And like to the West Coast, it only takes 1 day. And to the East Coast, it takes 2 days. So, you know, it's pretty fresh. Our regular wholesalers and stuff thank us for the beautiful orchids. And it's kind of fun talking to the people in the mainland. I mean, I have people that I have known for years, but I've never met them face to face. But, you know, we always talk on the phone and have conversations.
'82, I think I started first time, and I learned from there and all the experience from the job.
So we grow mostly the white orchids because it's the most in demand, because it's more versatile, and I think a lot of our flowers are used for weddings. They last really long, so once we cut them, they can live up to 2 weeks, and if you really take good care of it, it can even last longer than that. We used to grow everything in shade houses, but as Pahoa became more successful, then we put up greenhouses.
Every 6 years, we have to leave plant, new plants, so we have to like recycling.
I never wanted to come back to Hawaii after I finished high school. I went to college and I wanted to work in corporate America, wear a suit every day, and then I came back home not planning on staying, but just on vacation, and then my dad needed some help and I came down here. So I started working in the farm, and I was like, actually I really like this. And then eventually my dad didn't want me to stay, but then he was like, oh, I guess she's a good worker. And then kind of that's how it started. He's like, do you want to take over the business? And then he didn't want me to leave. I thought that, you know, I could make this business a lot better. We could expand, diversify our customers. So that's kind of what I offer to my dad, and then I like working together. So I like the lifestyle now. Well, I think why my dad is so successful is because he was able to weather all of these lava, hurricane, we had landslides. I mean, during COVID, our sales went down from like, we were doing like less than 50%, and you always have to be prepared. So being resilient and hanging in there, and I think that my dad's been probably growing Dendrobium cut flowers the longest out of anybody in Hawaii.
Yeah, orchids makes me happy.
My family has always lived in Hawaii, and my mother had her own nursery, and she would travel from time to time, and on one of these trips she brought me home a Leleocattleya, mini purple. It's my first orchid, still have it, and that's what kicked this whole thing off. I became quickly very enraptured and started studying and, you know, trying to learn as much as I could. Currently, the Orchid Fix grows over 400 different genera and about 10,000 different species. Some of these I hybridize to create new varieties. Some of them I cultivate to preserve, as some of these plants are going extinct in the wild, or in certain cases are already extinct in the wild. And so cultivation is the only way to keep the species going. What I'm in the business of doing is transferring pollen from one orchid to another. I create a seed pod. These seed pods are sent out to laboratories across the country and internationally. Their seeds are then germinated on a sterile medium, and they come back to us, containers very much like this one. We take the plants out of those containers, and they go into a community pot or a liner tray, something like this. And then, eventually the plants mature. Hopefully they flower. And over the course of 4 to 10 years, this is how a new orchid variety is developed. But it is difficult in Hawaii, the high cost of living, the cost of land, startup costs, right? All these different factors which contribute. So it does take a bit of careful planning to get started, but you can do it. And I'm so happy I did. As a hybridizer, someone who is in the business of creating new varieties of orchids, we are always, trying to keep on the pulse with what it is that people are after. And of course, things like bright colors, long shelf life, ease of growing are all really important factors we take into consideration when developing new varieties. The really special thing that I think most people have already caught on to about Hawaii is that there's really no other place on planet Earth like Hawaii. And one of the reasons why orchids grow so well here is the same conditions that you would find in these plants' native habitats are reproduced with an incredible level of similarity here in Hawaii. And so they're growing so well simply because it's just like in their native habitat. OGO, the Orchid Growers of Hawaii, is the professional organization for orchid growers in the state of Hawaii, and that's a good resource and has been helpful. HEFNA, of course, Hawaii Floriculture and Nursery Association, has done work on behalf of farmers throughout the state. And of course, the University of Hawaii College of Tropical Agriculture, UHCTAR, continues to do work in plant pathology and plant breeding, and generally supports the industry from an academic standpoint. The thing that has kept me going this whole time and continues to fascinate me is the infinite form and endless diversity of these plants. And it's become apparent that no one person will ever know everything there is to know about orchids. And so that kind of endless wonder, endless fascination, if you will, is what keeps me hooked.
There are different accounts as to how orchids came to Hawaii. Some of the accounts dating back to 1868 in the Hillebrand Estate, which is now where Foster Garden is located. So Hillebrand worked for, I believe, the Kingdom of Hawaii and stayed here until he returned to Germany. The other notable people who have brought in orchids to Hawaii prior to the war include Dr. Harold Lyon, for whom the Lyon Arboretum is named after. Post-war, the members of the 100th Infantry Battalion had an orchid club called Club 100. They not only exchanged pollen, but they also exchanged plant material, and this contributed greatly to the number of hybrids that have originated from Hawaii. It's worth noting also that this exchange of plant materials was not limited to Oahu. There were also plant exchanges between growers on Hawaii Island, Maui, and Kauai. One of the important developments in the Hawaii orchid industry was the innovation started by Reverend Masao Yamada. He showed that it was easy to germinate orchid seeds in flasks using simple things such as orchid fertilizer, organic additives such as tomatoes or bananas, and using agar sticks to solidify the medium. By germinating seeds in an artificial medium, you get more seeds surviving rather than just letting the orchid seeds grow naturally in nature, where they have to form a symbiotic relationship with a fungi. This is because orchid seeds don't really have a reserve source of food. So giving an artificial medium that's easy to prepare made it possible for orchid growers in Hawaii to grow many different kinds of new hybrids. The orchid breeding project started in 1950 upon Dr. Kamemoto's return from graduate school. The research focused on counting chromosomes of orchids of interest in Hawaii. This included the genera of Vandas, Cattleyas, Phalaenopsis, and Dendrobium. He was able to develop a special polyploid focusing on multiple chromosome sets. Essentially, a breeding behavior is like a species, and this is called an amphidiploid. We are able to produce many seeds simply by crossing two parents and making a fruit. A fruit will conservatively have between 5,000 to 8,000 seeds. Because they are uniform, this allows our growers to have a large number of plant materials to work with. And this is the reason why Hawaii has been able to develop seed-propagated Dendrobium cultivars. Dr. Kamemoto is responsible for all of the UniY series. UniY stands for University of Hawaii, so contracting it, we have the word UniY. This includes the most widely grown two-tone Dendrobium UniY Supreme, UH232, the most widely grown white variety UniY Mist, and the most widely grown purple variety Wally Murazani UH1427. These different types of orchids, growers groups, industry groups, are extension agents. The spirit of sharing expertise, sharing plant materials, the spirit of aloha, helped the industry become a leader worldwide.
My father started raising orchids maybe 55, 60. Miss Joaquin, these were lay vandas, okay, that the tourists used to get. And we used to pick 50,000 blossoms a day during the summer. And it was on consignment. If they sold it, you get paid. If not, you're working for nothing. Then we put up greenhouses and we did well. There were two sons, me and my brother, okay? My brother was working for a laboratory in Honolulu. And my father figured that why not make a lab here? Not too many people knew how to clone. They had to buy cloning plants, and where they came to us to buy the clones since we could do it, and we did a lot. We used to do about 25 to 50,000 bottles a year. In each, we put about 25, 30 plants. Right now, we don't do much. The laboratory workers are packing because we're so busy shipping out plants. We're known for our cattleyas right now, anywhere from budded to small plants. My brother made Hawaiian Prominence, America we named it. It's a red orchid, yellow lip, fragrant, a cattleya, and it's always selling out, always selling out. I think we cloned it 2, 3, 4 times, and when we clone, we make 10,000 runs, okay? Another one would be, it's not mine, but we promote it a lot. Love Triangle is the cattleya too. It's a fragrant, it can be red or yellow or orange. Very fragrant, very nice. Maui Plum, Akatsuka Orchid Gardens made that, and it's very, very fragrant. The whole room will be fragrant. Next we have Dendrobiums, which Hawaii is known for the Dendrobiums, and we do other things, other species, because a lot of people, they like species. people buy it from our website. I had one or two, they would open the box on YouTube. Voila, everybody saw what we had and I got a lot of customers from them. Lately we've been doing, trying something new, going to the supermarkets, okay? We're dressing it up. It's a local KTA market. They have about 5 or 6 stores on the Big Island. A lot of people know us right now. We go to the shows, the big shows. They know my face. I'm wearing my hat here. They know who I am because of my hat too. Hilo Orchid Society meeting, my father went every month. The society's Yasuji Takasaki Scholarship. They're using that money for a scholarship for people from the UH, the agriculture people from the UH. I think they get 1 or 2 a year. It's a great honor, I guess, for my father and for our family. For being a person who always said, I wanted more education. I always tell him, you didn't need that education. Everybody right now looks after you. They respect you and everything. So what more do you want? And even up till 95, he was in the nursery helping me pull weeds and everything. So he was good. He was great. This orchid business, you go to societies and anywhere, you meet a lot of nice people. They go out of their way to help you. We're all good friends and they're all nice.
My parents started the business when I was in middle school. Around that time, the University of Hawaii was starting or releasing the cut flower variety of orchids that they have developed at the university. He started growing baby plants of the cut flower dendrobiums orchids. I helped him along the way, a little bit. My brother joined full-time after he graduated college. I joined the company full-time in 1992 when we acquired some property on the Big Island in Kapoho. And we slowly grew the company to one of the larger cut flower nurseries in the state. Unfortunately, in 2018, the Kilauea eruption covered practically all of Kapoho, and all the orchid nurseries who were my neighbors and everybody's houses got covered with about 60 to 80 feet of lava. That kind of put a big dent into the orchid industry. When the flow started to come towards our direction, it came down fast, skinny. We had about 2 days of moving time. And everybody in Kapoho had to move through Beach Road. And originally, the year 1960, there was a flow in that area that went straight to the ocean, straight to the lighthouse area. So I assumed that it would do the same thing, go straight to the ocean. But unfortunately, it took a right turn right to our nurseries and came towards my nursery, but didn't cover my nursery, maybe about a fourth. And then it turned and went to the ocean. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I have a chance. I still have most of my nursery, but 2 days later, the flow changed and then took out the remaining part of my nursery. So it was rough. I mean, I have some greenhouses in the back of my house, but not nearly enough to survive on. There was a bunch of nurseries, I think it's about 10 or something, orchid nurseries that was totally covered in the Kapoho thing. So an idea is tossed around, why don't we, is there a possibility of creating an agriculture park or an orchid park? Gordon Inouye, who is a board member of HEFNA, had discussed with a large landowner, W.H. Shipman, if he had land available to lease. We made an agreement to lease part of the quarry, And for orchids, you don't need good soil. In fact, we don't need any soil. So we don't mind building on rocks. We talked to all the affected orchid growers in Kapoho. We formed a cooperative. We were able to get some grants. It's kind of a dual purpose. One is to help relocate the affected orchid nurseries. Another grant we got is to train people, familiarize people so that they can start their own orchid business also. And then that, in turn, when they have product available, they can also feed it back to the co-op and market it through the co-op. Bottom line is you have to like what you do. And I like what I do right now.
With the passion and perseverance of island growers, Hawaii has become a valuable source of diverse, high-quality orchids. The Hawaii Floriculture and Nursery Association, the University of Hawaii, and other organizations continue to support the improvement of techniques and development of new cultivars. People will always be attracted to intriguing orchid plants. The future is bright for orchid growers in Hawaii.